The next uptown local train is now arriving. Please stand away from the platform edge, especially when trains are entering and leaving the station. Ladies and gentlemen, there is an uptown local train, one station away. Ladies and gentlemen, there is an uptown local train, 2 stations away.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important message from the New York State Police Department. Keep your belongings inside at all times. Protect yourself. If you see a suspicious package or activity on the platform or train, do not keep it to yourself. Tell a police officer or an MTA employee. Remain alert and have a safe day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next uptown local train is now arriving. Please stand away to the platform edge, especially when trains are entering and leaving the station.
And don't even think you're getting all that this station has to offer, because each one of these steps right here, these section right here between columns, you have these little artwork, and it's all along, all the way down. And I miss all of that up there, so you gotta come see this. This is just a preview. And it's only off the wall. And they're all different. All of those are different. Little creepy little insects, little lizards are all on the floor along there. Most of them are represented. But I'm gonna keep doing the wall. Maybe one day I'll do the floor. One day when I break out my light. Today I don't have no light out, so you can't really see them. I have to get too close. But with the light, I would be able to stand up straight, and you would be able to see them. But they're all intricately carved, not painted, carved. That means they're gonna be there for years and years, and this station is in very good shape. So we're talking grand and great grandkids are gonna be able to see that. I love a station like that. See, give you a few more. Intricately carved, and between each column there's two. Hello. Wow. You get closer, you can see how beautiful this is. So your kids can start from the station as you arrive and take you right into the museum itself. Ooh, and they give you a treat right here. That's the A train blazing all the way up to 207. Yeah, so those are intricately.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is an uptown local train 2 stations away.
Yeah, so the express doesn't stop at the museum. This museum stop. You'd have to catch the local. And I'll give you an exact train that stops here. I think, wait a minute. There is an upstairs and a downstairs to this station, too. So whatever train I give you now, there are others. As it says. And different time of the day, different train stops here. You see, like you got the AC right there. The C is the local, the A is the express, but at night, the A stops here also. Late night, I would say after 12 o'clock, 11, 12. Wow. Yeah. If I move in, the intricacy becomes apparent. Look at that. His tail wrapped around the 81st. You got the geckos going on now. Oh yeah. Give you a couple more of that. See that? Yeah. Got all kinds. So, if your conversation is right with your kids as you arrive, you got their attention right away. And that's what it's what's important. You know, I was reading psychology today, and you would think, yeah, it deals with the mind, but
Ladies and gentlemen, there is an uptown local train.
I was reading psychology today, and when you hear psychology, that definitely deals with the mind. And the article was about Alzheimer's. This one's got 3, so as you get closer to your exit or your entry, yeah, you get more treats. Yeah, it deals with the mind, but the article was about Alzheimer's, and as the researchers go deeper into that particular subject of Alzheimer's, they're finding that Alzheimer's and what eventually amount to Alzheimer's doesn't just suddenly pop up. It's if you're paying attention to your chemical balances and your chemical imbalances, it's detectable that Alzheimer's start way early in life, your 20s, 30s. But as human metabolism changes as you get older, it's more detectable, and it is highly detectable when you reach 50 and into your 60s. But it's there if you're paying attention. The signs of Alzheimer's is there early on in your life if you pay attention to your chemical balances and your chemical imbalances. And it really doesn't necessarily take you going to the doctor and having a pH test, you know. A simple thing as going to the bathroom and remembering what you consumed the night before, and the color of your urine can tell you how your pH is going. Now, what are you gonna compare it to? Well, when you go to the bathroom, you can remember what you ate years ago. Oh, you say, oh no, I can't do that. That's too much work. You know, there's certain things, if you practice certain things, if you live your life a certain way, it's detectable right off the bat. You know, as Africans, we have like bush doctors and stuff like that. Those are the things that those people use to there's a those are the things that those people use to assess you. And if it's an accomplished bush doctor or doctor, as we should really call them, not bush doctor, but doctors, true doctors, some of these people get so adept at what they do that they could ask you a question of, do you remember last week what you ate, and when you woke up, this, that, or the other, how did you feel? In comparison to now with this ailment that you're coming to me with. And you might think it's just an off-the-wall question. They can use that week to see how fast or how strong.
The next Brooklyn-bound local train is now arriving. Please stand away to the platform edge.
How deeply rooted the disruption of your normal function is. They could use that week's assessment. While earlier I said that, hey, if you could remember years ago what you drank and what you ate and how your body reacted. Most people say, I can't remember that. But you know, if you're in tune with yourself, you're able to remember. I know I'm able to remember what I can tolerate and how much I'm not able to tolerate, opposed to now.
There is a Brooklyn-bound local train 1 station away.
Opposed to now when I'm feeling sick or I'm not feeling up to my regular. My regular level of tolerance. And that's what it's all about, tolerance. Even in emotion, in psychological well-being. You know, I can go into a whole day of explanation of one subject. One of my favorite philosopher, religious, I would say religious philosopher, Baruch Spinoza. Yeah, he could take one subject and never touch on the same point, but take the entire day to express that one subject. So, yeah, in the magazine, if you pick it up right now, it's November 2016. So, Psychology Today's issue. And the main subject in it is jealousy, but that's an emotional attack also. But what I'm talking more about is Alzheimer's, and the fact that Alzheimer's start when we're young and builds up and rears its ugly face to most people after 50. But the signs, the chemical imbalances that cause the brain to malfunction, and memory loss and speech loss, and then motor skills get damaged, starts way earlier than that. So some of us can tolerate a philosopher or just a explorer discussing a particular subject and taking an entire day to do so. And some of us can't. Why is it that, a simple question like that, why is it that some can tolerate it and come away with beneficial information, and some just say, I can't stand it, and they'll go off and they'll be mad all day that they may have donated $5 or $6 or $20 or $40 to hear a pack of nonsense, when all the time the information was there, but you didn't have tolerance or patience to hear it. Yeah, you spend a day and you get a lifetime of information. But your patience is not there. And that's also a great indication of chemical imbalances. Because if you watch kids, and I'm not going to go too far into this, I could take all day. Like I said, my favorite author, philosopher, writer, Baruch Spinoza, can take a whole day on a single subject. If you pay attention to your daily ins and outs, you can really come to hear the Museum of Natural History and see how the earth has evolved, and apply it to your everyday life and see how the chemical imbalance in your body causes not only mental disruption, but physical disruption too. Even down to arthritis and stuff like that. Arthritis, man, I hit my knee 5 years ago, and but guess what? There are foods you can eat. So Alzheimer's is mainly food, and they're saying it's glucose based. Your body's ability to ingest glucose. That's the main, and that's the point that I should have got to it a long time ago, right? Yeah, I know. But that's the way I do it. If you don't like it, hey, switch your channel. The glucose, your body's ability to ingest glucose, is what determines whether or not you develop Alzheimer's, and to what degree you develop Alzheimer's. Because in some Alzheimer's patient, some can still be statesmen, but doesn't have the patience and the ability any longer to be an author or remember the history and become an historian. I see people in their 60s being able to go back to college and not only being humanitarians, but they can still be historians because they remember most of what they have experienced over their life. So the chemical imbalance in your body, you are able to remember even years earlier if you're soldiering your step and you're a patriot to the preservation of humankind. As we see this buck courts this doe on their way to mating and preservation of their species. I know, I'm just, I'm wondering like this. If you look at the sky, right? Look at the sky. Okay. And the trees. And it's fall, right? So, in me, always, ever since I was a little kid, and I landed in this country, this time of year with this temperature here, about 55, and you can drop that down to 45. Oh, man. I could strip naked and walk down the street. Yeah. And you know where that comes from? That comes from early in the morning, right? In order to reach my father, who was in Kingston, I had to go around a place called Junction. And boy, that's where you reach Castleton. And the temperature is something that no matter what part of the country you might encounter this further up into the Cockpit Mountains also, but around Junction, coming from St. Mary to Kingston, you experience some frost-like weather where you had to be wearing your sweater, Jack. But me, I was always out running in nature, literally, learning to swim, learning to fish, learning to hunt, Yeah. So this time of year at this temperature is primo for me. I love this. I love this temperature. And seeing the leaves, it's not quite Jamaica, but I remember forests with trees so thick, woodpeckers, doves setting traps in leaves like that. Walking through leaves like that, my mind is able to bring me back there. And I don't live there because I'm in modern United States, modern Kingston, modern Arborview, modern Upper Camp. You see what I'm saying? Ever since the day I was born. But my mind, my ability to go bring me into the environment that I'm at and extracting the resources of that environment, whether it's taking phlegm or finding food. Yeah, my ability to do that is instantaneous. And at 50 plus now, I know I look a little bit older than that, yes, sometimes, because I don't cut my beard or whatever. But hey, it doesn't affect what's inside. So I can remember when I was able to tolerate much more of ingesting certain chemicals and certain elements and what the effects was. I can actually remember that, but most people can't. And that's where tolerance and that's where patience come in and vision. That's all the Museum of Natural History, by the way, that I've been to, if you don't know. And he's like, he's not saying anything, he's just talking that crap. Yeah. But if you go back and turn the sound off, if I'm killing your ear, you can see the beauty of it. See that pink brick? That brick is actually pink. And my camera give you a good shade? I know it's a little bit shaky, but yeah, you should be able to see that. Nice. Very nice. I mean, like simple things like fence like this. Living in Jamaica, not too many people are, you know what I'm saying, are exposed to fence, but I've always been. And it incites a certain thing in you when you see building with that are the exterior is constructed so strong you can recognize it, and you can just vision what's inside of it. So I'm not going to go into the museum today. I've been in the museum before, but I'm not taking anything. But all of that are grounds, and I'm not bragging on nothing, but I gotta thank my father to bringing me into this world and an environment. And I didn't have to say it. I was going to thank my mother. But that's that little boy that just says that. And he's running to his mother. I'm complimenting my father. And he's saying, mommy. And that's beautiful. That's the environment that you put yourself. That's the environment that allows you to recognize when your chemical imbalance is going to cause problems. It doesn't just pop up. Alzheimer's is the subject. And there you get it. Got it. And she didn't slow down. So he's still trying to catch up way over there. See that? And that's a good mother right there. Have that boy stretch his leg. He's calling to her for her to slow down. But she ain't doing no such thing. Yeah, boy. Not only is your mind is going to be stretched this morning, but your legs are also. Yes, mother. Thank you. See how that go? You cannot choreograph nothing like that. Nice roses. That brings my grandmother to mind. Both of them. Yeah. My grandmother